Good evening, Logan. Please state your name and occupation for the court.
I'm Logan and I'm a sales rep.
And have you had any other occupations?
Well, I used to work in the Logan Police Department.
And for how long were you a police officer?
12 years.
And in that time, was there any area in particular where you felt that you developed a certain level of expertise?
Well, I did investigate 8 murders.
How has your job in the technology industry worked out?
Honestly, not very well. It's a tough time right now. So.
Have you ever had to ask someone for financial aid?
Well, I have asked Pat Johnson in the past, but he said no.
And how did his response make you feel?
Well, I was a little disappointed, but I got over it.
How long have you known the Johnsons?
A few years.
Oh, were the Johnsons social?
Yeah, very social.
Was there any way in particular that they expressed this?
Well, they had a ton of parties.
And was there anything in particular that happened at these parties?
Well, Pat in particular was a drinker, so I don't know, he used to get really aggressive with the bottle.
Let me take you back to the 25th of December. What happened that night?
Well, I was having a Christmas party at my house with the Johnsons.
And did Pat do anything that night? Was there anything that Pat did during that party?
Well, he did tell me that,
Was there anything that Pat did at that party that he usually does at parties?
well, he did drink a lot.
Let me take you back to the morning of December 26th. What happened then?
I got a call really early in the morning, and it was Pat, and he told me that Tracy had gone missing.
What'd you do?
Well, I ran over there as fast as I can. And when I got there, Pat showed me this note, and it said that Tracy had been kidnapped by a small foreign faction, and the ransom was for $218,000, and they were supposed to call at 10 a.m.
Was there anything else that this note said?
It said that that he shouldn't call the police, or else they would cut off her head.
And had Pat called the police?
Pat did call the police, which I thought was really risky.
Was there anything that... So, what happened after this?
Well, Pat actually left for a little while. I don't even think he was in the house at 10 a.m. when the kidnappers were supposed to call.
How'd you describe Pat? Oh, of course, this morning.
Well, I was really surprised because he was actually really calm and collected, and in my experience, whenever there are kidnappings, the parents are always really freaked out.
What happened after Pat got back from running his errands?
Well, we decided to take a look around the house, and Pat suggested that we start at the basement, and he led us straight into the boiler room, and he flipped on the lights, and there was Tracy.
What did you think of Pat's choice as to where to start searching?
Well, I was really surprised because the boiler room where she was found is actually really hard to find.
So what happened after you found Tracy?
Well, I had to go find help. I ran straight back upstairs.
What was going through your mind at this point?
At this point, I was just hoping Tracy was okay.
In the time that followed, was there anything in particular that you thought about Pat?
Well, this one time he told me he loved the way that little girls were all dressed up. It was
Objection,
fun.
hearsay.
Sustained.
Over the course of this morning, were there any opinions that you were starting to form about Pat, based on your experience as a police officer?
Well, I thought it was really weird that he was so cool and collected about the whole thing. I mean, he just lost his daughter.
Morgan Query is a private investigator hired by Pat Johnson. What do you know of Mr. Query?
Well, I know that he falsified a bunch of his facts. There was actually this one case where he did a bunch of research, brought in, I mean, the police department believed him, so he was on trial, but when the Lawton Police Department went back and looked, it was all wrong. All of the things that he had said were.
Objection, relevance.
What's the relevance, counsel?
This is an example that demonstrates a trait that Morgan Query has displayed on numerous occasions of falsifying evidence, thereby calling into question any evidence that he brings into this court.
I want to sustain the objection.
Can it be stricken from the record?
Yes, the statement up to this point with regards to the objection will be stricken from the record. The jury is to disregard those statements.
Thank you, Your Honor. No further questions.